It is Eagles Talk on A2D Radio. And as always, we are brought to you by, if I can find it, Baggio's Bread. Located in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, home of the best stuffed breads, tomato pies, sandwiches, cutlets, and meatballs. Make sure you mention A2D Radio for 10% off your in-store purchase. We are live, like I said. It's Brinks, PY, Chucks. Gentlemen, how are you doing today? How was your week off? Or your week?
It was good. Just ready to talk some football.
Oh yeah, we got like this is the last week where we have to do like a filler topic.
Thank
And
God.
we can get into training camp talk starting next week, or at least a little bit of it, right? So we've been able to power through the off season a little bit, and we're pretty much almost here to football. PY, how about you? How was your week?
Long, stressful, lots of work.
Oh yeah,
Asthma's killing me.
Oh God, it's that time of the year. Right? Well, it feels like your asthma's always killing you. No matter,
The beginning of the year, it's fine. It's just when you get to the summer, that's just when it's unbearable.
I hear you. Well, we've got Mr. Les Bowen already on with us. Les, how are you? How was your week?
Just great, Chucks. How are you guys?
We're good. We're
Hanging
good.
in
We're
there.
hanging in there. It's hot weather as always in the middle of the summer, but we're powering through. I think we're halfway through July, so it's getting through fast.
Bring on winter.
Bring on the fall.
You mentioned this is the last week of filler, and I that really resonates with me. This time of year between the mini camp and camp is when I'm really glad that I'm retired, because the guys that are still writing and the women who are still writing, it's like, and here is my all-time Eagles team with names that started in with vowels, and I mean, it is just torture. And yeah, you're right. Camp is creeping up on us here. It certainly is. So
It really is, and it's it'll be here. I think they report next Tuesday, so we can start to get into like little previews for this season, and it should be good. It should be good now that I don't have to come up with crazy filler topics and interesting. But it has been fun. It's been fun because we're in 2025, and I can do all the quarter century since 2000, past 25 years. So it's been kind of easy compared to some other years, but we got the final topic. I feel like this will be a good one. It'll be a happy one. Last week we did like the negative stuff, right? We talked about the worst players, the worst moments we went through. So let's end this this quarter century talk on a positive note, and let's talk about the top Eagles moments from the past 25 years. And the poll question we've got tonight is: the Eagles Super Bowl 52 victory remains the greatest moment not only over the past 25 years but in franchise history. Agree or disagree? So Les, why don't you leave it off? We're gonna go with you, then PY, then Brinks, and then we'll end with me. But what do you think? Do you think Super Bowl 52 remains at the top of Eagles franchise history?
yeah, from a fan moment standpoint, absolutely. I just can't. The only other contender would be the 1960 championship, which even I don't. I was 4 years old in Virginia when that happened, so and nobody else here was around then. Yeah, I got to think so. You could say from a broader perspective, the day Jeffrey Lurie bought the team might be the most important day in Eagles history. But in terms of an event, something that people will remember, where they were and so forth. Yeah, that has to be it. I mean, after Brandon Graham forced that fumble, and I realized that it was probably going to happen, and I really hadn't, even though I had picked the Eagles to win the game, I really hadn't let myself think that until it was like, gosh, this is actually happening. Huh? How about that? Yeah, it was quite a realization, and the ensuing days, the parade. I think I wrote about this year about how the parade was so different, that the one after the one in 2018 was almost somber in a way. It was history. People talked about the relatives, and they never thought they'd see the day and so on. And this year was a little more fun in terms of, hey, maybe we can do this again. I think so. Long way of saying yes, I agree.
Yeah. PY, what do you think?
So, I mean, it's hard not to. Like, that kind of has to be it, because it was the culmination of so many years of mistakes, screw-ups, and just things just blowing up in your face. Like, my dad used to always tease me, like, this is the Philadelphia sports team, son. It's like they can't win the big one. They'll always screw it up somehow. Like, before the NFC championship game, he sent me like a 3-paragraph thing about how they're going to blow it, and I'm going to have egg on my face. And they won, and he ended up putting like tons of like championship gear in my car for the big parade. So like it's just like it changed everything, because like you went from this is who we are. We're just not the team that wins the big one. We're not a team that wins Super Bowls. We're not a team that you can trust in the clutch moments, to, hey, this is in our DNA. This is who we are. We go to Super Bowls. We win Super Bowls. We're one of the great teams in the NFL.
Yeah. Brings.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be. You never forget your first. You had a backup back, you had a backup left tackle, you had backup this, backup that. You're 8.5 points.
Did we lose them? Might have lost them.
Outside of Philadelphia, gave us a chance. But yeah, and then you have the Phillies. You have a bunch of moments from that game and that season that'll probably be talked about throughout this show. But yeah, I mean, when it's the first one and you're not really supposed to win, and it was pretty sweet to beat who we beat as well. And if you remember that, it always makes me laugh. Like, because remember the AFC Championship that year was the Patriots and the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
the Jaguars.
The Jaguars almost won. They had a very loaded team. And I don't really remember. There was a fumble or something. I don't remember the exact details, but
Brady fumbles the ball. Miles Jack picks it up, and he was supposed to be running it in for a touchdown. They called it dead.
They blew it dead. Yeah.
Well, I didn't want the Jaguars. I wanted Brady in that Super Bowl. I wanted to beat Brady, because if we beat Blake Bortles and the Jaguars,
nobody cares.
Everyone would have said, "Well, you only beat the Jaguars." So
they say this. They say the same thing.
I get what he's saying.
You didn't have Malcolm Butler, so it doesn't count. I don't care.
I heard it on these.
We're gonna play the CFL team in the Super Bowl, and
in the comments that people wanted. People wanted the easy way out, and that's not how life works. But if Brady lost and Brady got screwed and we got to play Bortles, I mean, oh well.
I don't care.
That's just what I remember.
Whatever helps me win the Super Bowl.
To Briggs' point, though, it does feel sweeter beating the Patriots. You know what I mean? So, like, I hear what you're saying. I'm gonna agree to the poll as well. I think that it's finally getting on top of the mountain when we kept falling. You know, it's the first one after years and years being the joke of the NFC East, the joke, like one of the only teams in the NFL that wasn't able to win a Super Bowl. So like it's being able to get the, all that pain of, I started following the team and being an actual, like a fan of football and of the Eagles back in 2000. So that's like 17 years. I can't even imagine like other people, how long older fans have stuck with this team, and years of pain and not being able to do it. And that pain just finally being able to be released. It's getting the monkey off the back, as Steve Young said when he won it, right? It's being able to just breathe that sigh of relief and know that, hey, we did it. And it's like, now you have that confidence to be able to say, like, maybe we can do it again, So that is, I think, I wanted this past Super Bowl win was probably the Super Bowl victory that I have wanted the most as a fan, but the Super Bowl 52 one is probably the one that meant the most because it's the first one. So it's really tough to top Super Bowl 52 and say that's not, the greatest moment in Eagles history since, that was the one that goes to the top. So, I did, I said for the show topic, we were going to talk about the greatest moments in the top 10. I don't know if you guys made a list. I did make a list. I was able to do 11, and I know that for me, there are probably ones that I'm missing. So we're going to do it like this. So we don't have to, I'm not going to write it down or anything like that. We're just going to kind of go off the cuff. And then if you guys have ranked it, that's fine. But we're just going to go around, around the horn again and just name so we started with the top. So if you've got them ranked, go from 1 to 10 or whatnot. But if not, just say what you think is the next best, and we'll just rattle them off and talk about them. So Les, we talked about Super Bowl 52. What do you think? What do you have as probably the next best Eagles moment in the past quarter century?
That's a real good question. The last quarter century, obviously, number 2 would be this year's Super Bowl win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If we're doing all time, I think this year's Super Bowl win and the 1960 championship over Vince Lombardi and the Packers, that'd be tough to pick between those two. But if we're just doing this last 25 years, then yeah, this Super Bowl 59 is obviously the number 2.
Number 2, yeah.
If you get after that, then it gets interesting. Maybe the NFC Championship win before Super Bowl 39, when they finally won the NFC Championship game after all those tries.
Yeah.
That was a huge deal, and I remember it vividly. That's one of the biggest Eagles moments ever, and certainly of the last 25 years.
Because we finally won it. Again, it's kind of like with the Super Bowl. It's like we've been to 4 straight NFC Championship games, and it's just when will we finally win one to go to the big game? And it's to finally get that monkey off her back, it felt good. And it's funny that I know PY, this is your guy. I don't mean this to crap on him, but we won it without T.O. And that says something about this team, the resiliency, not having that big acquisition, and the guy that helped you in the regular season be the top team. So I'm not saying that we could have we didn't need T.O., but we did it without him, and his contributions during the regular season, putting us and helping put us in that position were really good. But now it's just it's nice to know that we were able to do it even without him. So there's resiliency there. Yeah, I remember that was just I watched that in my college dorm, and the few of us that had stayed behind that weekend to watch it, where we were going nuts. So yeah, I have that at 4. So I don't have that.
Probably about where it belongs. And then I would go probably with the Nick Foles NFC Championship game, the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
That would be 5th or so for me, I guess.
Yeah.
But I really didn't go a lot farther than that. I don't know. Maybe I should have, but I could. I mean, it's that 49ers championship game where they knocked out the quarterbacks, and it was a blowout. Where do you rank that? I don't know. Maybe right after the Minnesota game.
I personally, I don't have that ranked in my top 10.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it wasn't I don't know. Just looking back on it, it didn't weigh as heavily in my opinion, and it wasn't I don't remember it being as electric as the 2017-18 one. Chrome, my good friend Chrome, as you guys obviously you guys know Chrome. He went to that game, and he said that's probably the most electric he's ever seen the link or felt the link. It was the atmosphere there was insane. So
are we talking about Minnesota now? Sorry, I
yeah.
Deal with my computer, but the Minnesota one. I mean, the patch. I was at that game. I've been at all these games. I'm spoiled. When Patrick Robinson took that ball, that should probably be on my list. The Patrick Robinson pick 6, that should probably be on my list. Niners or the Vikings. That's the loudest I've ever heard the link when Patrick Robinson took that in.
Oh yeah.
And I've been at all of them.
Electric. Yeah, I personally I had Super Bowl 52 as 1. Number 2, I had Super Bowl 59. Right, so those 2 victories I have as top 2. Those 2 games, the NFC Championship games, so 04-05 and then 17, 18. I have that as 4 and 5. 4 and 5 respectively. At number 3, I have the Miracle at the New Meadowlands in 2010.
Okay.
I think that, like, I don't know about anyone else, but I know that's regular season, and it's hard to weigh that importance. But I mean that game
it
would
was
be
an amazing play,
Mhm.
but and an amazing day. But the fact that they never won again after that day really just took that right out of
It takes a
whenever
lot
I
out
look
of
at that, I think, yeah, they got exactly the wrong lesson from coming way back and winning that game. They just, they thought they could do whatever they wanted and still win, and it was a disaster after that.
Joe Webb,
It left a sour taste in my mouth, I guess.
Yeah. If they had at least been able to win one playoff game or something like that, maybe that would. So it's hard to put that. But I look at that game, I'm just like, that was insane. Like that game in and of itself, that comeback was absolutely. I don't know any team or any quarterback. I don't want to say any, but like I don't know many that would have been able to pull off a comeback like that. Like it's Mike Vick is probably one of the only 3 to 5 players, maybe if any, like that would be able to pull that kind of comeback off. So,
absolutely. Well, now that we're talking about this more in depth, I'll say one more thing. I did not make a top 10 list, but if I had a game that certainly would have been on it, would have been oh boy, I'm really having a senior moment here. I had this all teed up and ready to go. The 2008, I'm sorry, the game that got the blowout over the Cowboys. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes. Yep.
Where the 8 different things had to happen for them to make the playoffs, and they all happened, and they blew out the Cowboys at the Link.
Mm-hmm.
That's a top 10 moment to me. I was flabbergasted that day.
I have that in my top 10. That's 8. I could have made. I've been going back and forth with my list and being like, should I have it higher? Like I wasn't sure if I should have, but like it's in that tier. Yeah, I absolutely have that. I remember that day watching football. I'm just like, there's no way. Like there's no way the Eagles are gonna like have a chance. But then like everything fell into place. I think what was it like the one game? I think the Raiders had
Garcia had to throw an interception. I think against a really bad Jacksonville team late in the game.
Mm-hmm.
For the Raiders to lose or something like that. Is that not right?
It was Tampa, not Jacksonville.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, somebody had to lose that wasn't supposed to lose, and there was an interception late in the game, and it was all just amazing. It was ridiculous. All the stuff that happened and got the Eagles into the playoffs that year.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then for it to happen like that, that game, it was oh my God. The way it went, how we blew them out and everything, that's insane. I have that there. Brinks, any other ones? Like those are my top 5.
Yeah, I mean, I had Deshaun Jackson, the Meadowlands was my number 7. 44-6 was my number 10. I took it a little different. Like mine's a little more specific.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My number 1 is actually Cooper DeJean's pick 6. Maybe that's recency bias. Maybe it's not. But if this season goes the way we planned, this season coming up goes the way we plan, and we start the dynasty talk, I feel like that's the play that started a dynasty. And when that happened, like it was just like, I think that made it 17-7, maybe 17-3.
Oh, okay.
After that,
17-0. Yeah,
it made it 17-0. They weren't losing the game after that play happened.
Yeah, that was
in my opinion.
Yeah, that was a huge play. Yeah. So
and then the reason I said my list is more specific than yours, like my 2 and 3 are the Zach Ertz 4th down in Super Bowl 52.
Oh, that was a huge
play.
Yeah.
I was so liquored up, and I was just almost threw up. It was 4th and 1. They dropped them back. The backup quarterback, they drop them back. They throw the football, and it's just like a broken kind of scramble drill play, and he throws a jump ball in the middle of the field to Zach Ertz, and they get the first down. And then a few plays later, Zach Ertz again
The touchdown
goes in for the win.
Yeah.
And then number 3, I had the Philly special.
It's a good play. Yep.
And then number 6 is the Brandon Graham strip sack.
It's funny. I do wonder that because I rank the Brandon Graham strip sack higher than the Philly special. I'm one of the few, and I know the Philly special.
Really? All right. That makes me feel better because I thought I was going to get roasted for having the Philly special.
No, I
personally, not number 1
because the Philly special was really cool and all. It's a cool play, but the Brandon Graham strip sack, that was the play. I mean, unless you talk about it, like when that happened, that's when like we all could have been like, oh, we actually might win this. Like I was on the edge of my seat, like holding on for dear life the whole game, like could barely breathe. When Brandon Graham had that strip sack, I was like, holy crap! Like we could do this. Like we could absolutely do this. So I weigh that, I guess, in that clutch moment. I weigh that so heavily. So I always thought that was a bigger play to me in that Super Bowl than the Philly special. But the Philly special was a really cool, and the balls it took to be able to call that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Plus, Brandon Graham was the longest tenured guy on the whole team. He'd been through thick and thin with the team, and for him to get that moment was really cool.
It was really cool. Yeah, absolutely. So I'll go with a few more to round out my 10. Again, I'm talking more about like games, and you're going to talk about specific plays, so that's perfectly fine. I think one game that I didn't mention was I think I talked about it last week, the 06-07 wildcard game against the Giants, where we had Westbrook and Garcia because McNabb was out. Yeah. So that I love that game was amazing. To be able to win on that last second field goal by Akers. I think that was one of the best wins, considering everything that happened to that team in that 06 season, losing your starting quarterback and everything like that. And coming back to win a division, I think we won 4 straight games, and the 3 of them were against the division. So that was crazy. So I have that 4th and 26. 4th and 26 in the 03.
Yeah, that's a big moment. Yeah.
That's a big moment. Yeah, huge moment. Do you have that play, Briggs?
Yeah. I have it number 9 because I'd like to say that the next week against Carolina has nothing to do with my low ranking of 4th and 26, but it does.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Yeah, I mean, it should. I remember it detracted from the importance of the event.
Yeah,
just like what I said about Deshaun's touchdown in the Meadowlands.
I just remember that. First off, it was, what Freddie Mitchell did. Like, he just had a fluke good play. It was what was a very disappointing Eagles first round pick. Great, but career. But I remember just laughing in the face of Donovan McNabb haters after that game. Like, Donovan McNabb was dragging Kabir Kabaha, Bill Milia on his back.
Yeah,
the whole second half to get them back into it.
Yeah, that was one of those games where he really did come up big. Oh, absolutely.
Came up huge. And I was always a McNabb guy until, he was gone. They could have done a lot worse. A lot of teams did do a lot worse in that time period than Donovan McNabb. But, 4th and 26 was crazy. The Packers were better than the Eagles. And the Eagles won. I know the Eagles were favored in that game, but if you remember that season, Les, like a lot of guys were not, even for that game. We talk about the Carolina game where even more guys got hurt, including McNabb. But even for that playoff run, there was no Buck.
Yeah, there was no Westbrook. And that was Westbrook was the key to the offense that year. Once he was gone, I was shocked they beat anybody in the playoffs, really.
But that 4th and 26 game, they had Favre. They had Amon Green. They had like Javon Walker and like all these receivers, and they had Kabir Biamilio was a tremendous pass rusher. I looked like it didn't look good for a while, and Donovan McNabb pulled it out somehow.
Yeah.
So that's
Favre,
number 9.
And then Favre had his signature like interception in the playoffs where he turned it over, and Dawkins had that interception to pretty much like that sealed it essentially.
They were done. They were done after 4th and 26, though.
Yeah, they had no momentum.
The Eagles weren't losing that game in overtime. No way, no how.
Ryan Soap does say the reason why this year's Super Bowl was the most exciting is because they had a great all-around defense. They didn't rely on being all about the pass rush. They were amazing coverage, and pass defense still average in the pass rush though. So
that's all true, but that doesn't make it better to me. I don't know.
Yeah. Doesn't make it a more, but yeah, it does. It does mean it is this past one. It was satisfying in the sense that like we really were the best team in the league, and we pretty much capitalized on it. So yeah, absolutely. One of the other games that I'll talk about too was because we talked about the 2008 Week 17 blowout win 44-6 against the Cowboys. So you had mentioned that, Brinks. I'm also going to mention T.O.'s return to Philly in 2006. If you remember Week 5, his first game as a Cowboy, he comes back to Philadelphia, and that game was crazy. If you guys remember, we were winning late in the game, and it was a 4th down. Cowboys, I think Drew Bledsoe throws up like a Hail Mary pass on, I think it was 4th down, and we get called for DPI. So the Cowboys are in the red zone. Mm-hmm. They are a touchdown away from tying the game, and Lito Shepherd picks it off and goes to the house.
All the way. Yes.
All the way. Yes. Like, I think it was like 102 yards or something.
I'd forgotten that was that game. That was
the
T.O. return. Yeah.
T.O.'s return. Yeah. That was, I remember that was one of the games where I was just like glued to, like, we talk about like must win games in the regular season against Cowboys. That one was like up there. Like we needed to beat the Cowboys and stick it to T.O. So like that was, I will always remember that game. That was a great one. And then the last one I'll mention is, of course, and whatchamacallit, who's Mac McKemmel mentions it here. It's Westbrook's punt return against the Giants in 2003. The birth of the Giant killer, B. West, always having his best games against the Giants. That 2003 Les, you mentioned how Westbrook was the offense. Apparently, he was the special teams too, because he had that punt return, 84 yards.
Yes,
our offense was doing nothing.
Yeah, it was a 10-7 game, I think. Mm-hmm. That was the winning touchdown.
Yep.
And the Eagles went on a long winning streak off of that game. But they were not playing well, and that was maybe the moment that Westbrook really arrived.
Yes,
as a star, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was, and he talks about. I think he's talked about it in interviews how that pretty much is his favorite like play of his career is, or like this, at least a signature moment of his career. Because if you talk about Westbrook, they always point to that. Highlight packages always have that punt return. So that was like huge.
I'll give you a moment from that era. I don't recall exactly when it was, but it didn't lead to anything, so I wouldn't include it in my list. But I'll always remember this: the Eagles were losing to the Chargers at the Link. The Chargers were lined up for a field goal that would put the game away. Mm-hmm. I forgot now. Was it Quentin Michael who blocked the field goal?
I don't remember.
Matt Ware ran it in. I don't know.
Matt Ware ran it all the way in, and the Eagles won the game.
Yep.
Matt Ware, another one of those defensive back draftees who just wasn't what they thought he was going to be. High draft pick. But that was his moment. That was his day.
That was,
if you remember, that's when LaDainian Tomlinson was really cooking for the Chargers, and everyone on the national scale, and everyone, well, how are we going to stop LT? How are we going to stop LT? I think he had 8 carries for 17 yards.
Yeah. But the Eagles weren't very good that day either. So, they were losing. But
I'm pretty sure that was 2005. That was
probably so.
Yeah, I think so. I remember. Yeah,
it seems like a 2005 kind of game.
Yeah. All of those like those seasons that we had, the losing seasons. It's crazy how a lot of those games we just kind of like block out.
Right.
Like we forget, right? It's like you don't want to talk about it anymore because those seasons were tough. Like I don't remember a lot of like 2009 because that ended so horribly. I don't remember a lot of that season because I kind of
Yeah, and there were a lot of good wins in that season, but you just
Yeah.
don't, the
don't
way
talk
it
about
ended made it all meaningless. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't talk about it. Yeah, exactly. That's essentially. I had an honorable mention. The Monday Night Massacre in 2010 against Washington. Like
Yeah.
that was talk about a beating. Like that was. I don't even remember how many fantasy points Mike Vick put up because he had like so many touchdowns. But that was.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about right off the get go. How many yards he? It wasn't. Was it a 75-yard touchdown bomb to Deshaun? I think it was 75.
Yeah.
So they started with a touchback.
so.
75 or 80, one of them. Yeah, I forget. But right off the bat, and it was just lights out after that, like nonstop. So yeah, that was memorable as well. Any more breaks that I didn't mention?
Just to go back to the Westbrook Meadowlands moment, like that was the season. Because remember, we lost to Tampa the following year, and then that was the first year of the link.
Yes.
And Tampa, they came in week 1 on Monday Night Football, and they didn't beat us. They kicked our ass.
Mm-hmm.
And then in week 2, the Patriots came to the link, and it was just a massacre. And then I think they beat somebody.
They went to Buffalo and won.
Buffalo, yeah.
That was the day Rush Limbaugh went on the television and said that white sports writers just wanted Donovan McNabb to be good, that he wasn't really good.
I mean,
and the Eagles won that day in Buffalo against Troy Vincent and company. And and then came the Meadowlands game, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and Westbrook had a long touchdown run against the Bills that game too.
Yeah, it was a 4th down run, I believe. Was it not? It was like they stacked the box, and once he got past the line of scrimmage, there was nobody there.
Yeah, he was gone. Yep, I remember that game.
Well, anyway, the Giants were 1-2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a really just ugly game.
Very ugly.
And for whatever reason, Brian Westbrook took that on one hop and just gave the team so much confidence. Yeah. It just gave the team such confidence and such juice that they won. They won a bunch of games in a row, and they lost one at the end. I believe it was the Niners,
right?
At Lincoln Financial Field,
but then Westbrook got hurt at Washington.
In Washington,
and then.
Yeah, and that was
the juice. The juice went away.
Yeah.
It was Trotter that did it too.
Yeah,
it was Trotter that.
It was a torn. From what I remember, it was a torn triceps.
Something like that. Yeah, it was a season-ending injury. Yeah, and there wasn't any hope that he was going to come back or anything like that. And it was like, this team.
I remember early in that Panthers game, man, they ran the Westbrook wheel route, but it wasn't obviously to Westbrook. It was the Deuce Staley. And it was a stone touchdown. And Deuce, bless his heart, tried to do what he could, but it went right through his hands because he wasn't Brian Westbrook.
Yeah.
And that was just kind of symbolized how the rest of that game went.
Absolutely. That's absolutely true. It did. Yes.
Yep.
That Panthers team stunk. I don't care that they
it did.
That Panthers
really
team
did.
stunk. Stunk out.
That Panthers team almost won that Super Bowl, though. And I thought the Panthers would get killed in the Super Bowl. It was the Patriots. It was in Houston, and I thought the Patriots were going to kill them. And Jake Delhomme came very close to winning a Super Bowl.
Jake Delhomme, geez, yeah.
Oh God,
crazy. Oh yeah, crazy moments.
Yes.
That's all I got. Brings. I don't know if you have anything left.
Those are some
we
good
have
moments.
like a lot of repeats.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen the picture that I have signed of LaShawn McCoy for the snow game.
Yeah.
That would be my honorable mention.
Yeah.
That was just crazy because like the weather people were kind of like, oh, it might snow. It's not going to be that bad. And then all of a sudden, like we're driving to the stadium.
Yeah.
And there's like 6 inches of snow on the ground, and they're plowing
the field.
the
At the stadium before it started snowing, and then I think it between warm-ups and the actual like national anthem and all that, it must have snowed a couple inches. I mean, it was unbelievable. And the thing we were all talking about in the press box was this was only 3 years after this stupid business that we were just alluding to indirectly, where they had to play they postponed a game for a snowstorm that never happened. And they ended up losing to Joe Webb because they were playing whatever it was, Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever.
Tuesday night.
And, and so a couple years later, here we are with nothing in the forecast and snow's coming down.
It was an unbelievable performance.
Yeah,
it really was.
I believe Nick Foles was the quarterback that day.
Yeah. Nick had a great run in 2013. It wasn't a lot of games, but it was a really beautiful run. But that was Nick, I mean, the next year, not so good. But
up and down.
He was. We kept trying to get Chip Kelly to that was the big week-to-week thing. Chip would never anoint him as the franchise quarterback or the long-term starter. And, it was kind of a game with us trying to get Chip to say something good about Nick Foles.
I think the only one that number 4, I have Saquon in the snow against the Rams. I've been to all these games, and that Rams game was just unbelievable. We all knew it was going to snow. The Rams were really good and playing really well, and Saquon just took over. And he just looked like a little kid out there. It was so much fun. Yeah. He just nods at Jalen to just give him the ball. I don't know what he saw on the defense, but he said, just toss me the ball, and he just went down and he's banging his helmet down and then he did that airplane dance. I don't know what he calls that, but of all the games I've been to, that's the best one I've ever been to, and I've been to a lot of good ones and a lot of stinky ones, but that's. And then the Rams, then Fangio, for whatever reason, just goes into the prevent defense just way too early.
That's like his only flaw is.
And then Stafford just carves him up. And then, Saquon's got 200 yards rushing. We're supposed to be the best team. And the Rams are on the 15-yard line about to win the game. It was just
Jalen Carter stepped up. Yes.
Jalen Carter. Without Jalen Carter, oh, my God. Yeah, thank God for that. But
then I had it number 8. We went up to the Meadowlands in 2008 and closed out
the playoff game. The playoff game. Yeah,
20. I think the final score was 23-11.
Yeah, the defending champions too.
Yeah, we kicked their ass and closed down their stadium, and it was so sweet. That also
I don't even think about that because the new stadium is just like the old stadium. It's
right.
Yeah,
and it's horrible.
I forget that there was ever another one. It's the same place.
Worst place to play as a player. It's the fact that it's a new stadium and it's just that bad. Oh God.
That kind of validated the whole 44-6, and then the next week I know they beat the Vikings, but the Vikings are what I remember about that Vikings team, it was just the typical Vikings team. It was the typical Vikings team that they have every year, and they're going to have again this year. They're going to win a bunch of games and be a seed, and then just come up super duper small.
That game, if you remember, it was close all throughout, and then Westbrook took that screen pass late. I think
against the Vikings or Giants?
That was against the Vikings. Yeah,
Vikings. Yes. That's what I thought you were saying. Yes.
Yeah, it was against the Vikings. We were up 2, so we had no breathing room, and then he took that screen pass to the house, and that we were after that we were just smooth sailing. The defense really clamped down. So that was a tight game until that, and then the Giants game was just fun. Asante Samuel had that pick 6. Against Eli, it's just Asante doing his Asante stuff, just getting a pick 6 against a Manning. What else is new? So that was fun. Those were 2 fun games that kind of validated the 44-6. Yeah, it just sucks that we lost to the Cardinals next.
Yeah, but I mean, they won. They went in there. After the 44-6. Like they won 2 playoff games after that.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
And they were a 9-win team in the regular season. I mean, it would have been really something if they had won the Super Bowl that year, and I think they could have. That would have been the Steelers they were playing in the Super Bowl. But I mean, really, did they get gypped or anything? Not really. I mean, they weren't that good. They were okay. They were lacking a few things.
And if you remember, that was the season. That was the season we tied the Bengals, and Donovan went up there and said didn't know the game could end in a tie. Well, it turned out that because of certain tiebreakers and percentages, that they got in because they tied.
Good thing we didn't.
Donovan doing that, and everybody, deservedly was critical of him for that. But I was in the locker room that day. And we asked, once Donovan said that, we asked other players, and there were a lot of players that didn't know either.
I mean, that's all fine and good, but there's a difference between like what you say out loud and what you think in your head.
Yes, exactly.
That's like, oh, the game's a tie. Like, yeah, I knew that. I knew it could be a tie the whole time. What are you talking about? No doubt about it.
But I think everybody knows it now because it's happened a bunch of times. But that was a while back when they hadn't been doing there hadn't been very many of those. It had been years since there'd been one that had not been settled in overtime. And, there were guys that legit didn't know that was going to happen. I think the coaches probably should have maybe gone over that a little bit at some point.
It's similar to like the Niners Super Bowl, where they didn't know that like they get the ball too. So like they receive. It's just like they're just in there, be like, oh, I didn't realize we could just we get the ball as well. They're like, we're gonna receive. No, like you want to kick it. So but it's funny. It's how things work out. And I think I don't have the data on this obviously, but like I wonder if a big reason why we've seen more ties is because they switched to 10-minute periods as opposed to 15. Because those 10 minutes go by fast. Like if you have the ball first,
I don't know that that's been a good change.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, it does go. You're right. It's even if the team doesn't score that has the ball first, if they get a drive going, the other team's under pressure.
The other team only has a few minutes left. Like they take up like 6-7 minutes, and then before you know it, it's like, oh, you better hurry up. So that's a big thing. And then I like that they finally changed the rules for regular season to match the postseason, where both sides get a possession, at least one possession. I just think that's just make it uniform. I don't like. It's not like this doesn't need to be hockey. You know what I mean? Like just make the same rules. It just make it consistent. It's football. Like you don't need to make it complicated like that. So, I agree. Well, Les, thank you for joining us on this evening and talking about reminiscing the good times you've had over the past 25 years, and hopefully we have a lot of good moments for the next 25 years. And next week we will be talking about training camp and previews for the season finally. So it'll be fun. It'll be good to get into that.
Absolutely.
All right, Les, we will see you next week.
Okay, guys. Good to talk to you. Take care.
See you, Les. All right, that is Les Bone on the Birds with us every week. All right, Brinks. So PY is not on here. He's having internet issues. I'm assuming he can't get back on, but all good. Let's talk about this as it was the hot topic today. It's been kind of like a hot topic the past couple of days too, because Jeremy Fowler from ESPN, he does this annually. He comes out with his top 10 positional rankings. He does. It's not his. Like he doesn't make the list. He surveys coaches, scouts, and execs all around the league, and comes up with rankings based on how they do it. How they rank them. They did some other positions already the past few days, but today came out with the quarterback rankings, and obviously, like the quarterback position is going to get a lot of like conversation because it's the quarterback position, and so if you were listening and you don't know what the rankings were, I'll read them off to you. So number 1 was Patrick Mahomes. 2 was Josh Allen. 3 was Joe Burrow. 3. 4 was Lamar Jackson. 5 was Jaden Daniels. 6 was Matt Stafford. 7, Justin Herbert. 8, Jared Goff. 9, Jalen Hurts. And then 10, Baker Mayfield. Honorable mentions were CJ Stroud, Jordan Love, and then other people receiving some votes but not making it to the top 10 were Kyler, Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers, Tua, and Bo Nix. So you got those. That's the 1 to 10. We don't need to get like deep into this because I'm sure we could do a whole show ranking quarterbacks. But Brinks, your initial reactions when you saw the top 10 list, like what jumped out to you? Obviously, I know we're an Eagles show. You can talk about Jalen Hurts where he's ranked, but like, was there anything else in terms of where quarterbacks fell on this list that also jumped out to you as your initial reactions?
I mean, look, like 9's too low. It's just he's not the 9th best quarterback in the NFL. He's 5th. He would be 5th on my list. Now, I didn't read the actual article. I just saw the list because I don't really do ESPN anymore because it's absolute garbage. So, like, was there like criteria that he threw out?
So he said, okay. So he's talking about. Let's see. What else you should know about this class? The group is more exclusive this time around. In most years, at least 16 quarterbacks attract significant votes. No longer, just 12 players had traction this time around. 4 of those 12 are from 2020 draft class. These are just some tidbits. Since our rankings
basically, who do you want this year right now?
Yeah. It's like who would you like currently? Yeah, that's how.
Well, Justin Herbert's an absolute stiff. Like, I don't know how he has all these scouts and coaches and GMs and whoever else this guy asked that he's like in the upper echelon over a guy like Jalen Hurts. I don't understand that at all. I don't understand what everyone sees in Justin Herbert outside of he's super tall and he has a strong arm. He's done nothing in this league. Nothing. In fact, usually his seasons end with him having egg on his face. So that's not a guy that I'm taking over Jalen Hurts. Not no way, not no how. Jaden Daniels, sorry, man. I mean, 1 year, and I'm putting him over a guy that's been to the Super Bowl twice, won a Super Bowl, and by the way, in the Super Bowl that he lost, he was by far the best player on the field. He's been in the playoffs every year he started. Has Jalen Hurts ever missed the playoffs?
No, I don't think so.
So, like, I get it. He's the shiny new toy on the block, but having a guy with 1 year experience over a guy like Jalen Hurts, that's absolutely ridiculous. And then who was the other? Matthew Stafford. Like, okay, he can sling it, but I mean, you're going to take a 38-year-old Matthew Stafford going into this season.
I don't have a problem with Matt Stafford at 6. I think Matt Stafford still is a really
that's fine. Matthew Stafford can be 6 as long as Jalen Hurts is number 5. That's fine.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I understand.
Because Matthew Stafford probably would be my number 6. So that's actually, and then I mean Jared Goff over Jalen Hurts. Like, come on, man. Come on.
I know.
Like,
I know.
The only guys that are over, and you also have to. I also look at this as like you try and use your intelligence to take out like the external factors, like meaning like you just look at their talent as a quarterback in like a vacuum.
Yeah.
So there's only 4 guys in the league that I would take over Jalen Hurts, and that's Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, and Jackson, which I believe were the first 4 on the list. So that's good. Then Jalen Hurts is 5, and all 5 of them have earned the right to be called tier 1 quarterbacks, especially after Jalen Hurts winning a championship last year. And he proved that he could do it with his arm. Because if you remember, I had a lot of doubts about Jalen Hurts during the whole collapse and leading up to the Steelers game when the play calling allowed him to win games with his arm from the Steelers game on last year. So, I mean, I don't know how you can look at the data that Jalen Hurts has put out there and put a Herbert or a Goff or a Stafford over him going into next season. But the top four, I mean, I don't think I mean, if the Bengals called you and said that, we're sick of Joe Burrow, we don't like him anymore, we love Jalen Hurts, like, let's just trade straight up. Any Eagles fan that looks you in the face and says they wouldn't do that is a stone moron. Same with Mahomes, same with Allen, same with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but because these scouts that he asked, they probably had Herbert as the best quarterback in that. I think that was the 2020 draft, right?
Sticking to priors. Yep, sticking to their priors. Yep.
Sticking to their priors, not admitting that this guy, even though he looks like he was built in a laboratory and has everything you need to be a no doubt about franchise quarterback, something's missing. And the people that Jeremy Fowler asked don't want to admit that, which is why you have to really look at these lists that come out and look for agendas and criteria and whatnot. That's why you should always listen to A2D Radio, because we don't have an agenda. We don't care. I don't care if I thought Justin Herbert was going to be a stud once in a time. He's not a stud. He's not. Sorry.
Yeah, I have. So, it's funny because I love that Jeremy Fowler does these lists, and I think he does a great job with them. I've always said that, there are amazing people that work in the NFL. There are also some people that are very questionable. If you want another example, if we go to the offensive tackle rankings, Lane Johnson's at 3, which is a spot or two too low, and the lowest. So they show the highest ranking he had in terms of the vote, his highest vote that he got from a person. So the highest he got was 1, which is, to me, it should be 1. His lowest ranking, someone voted him as 10. Please give me the name of the scout, coach, or executive that has Lane Johnson as the 10th best offensive tackle in the league, because that's just insane. That's just I don't need further proof to show. It's just further proof that what I've been saying is that there are some people in this league that don't know what they're looking at. They just don't. So, in terms of the quarterback rankings, the first thing that I took issue with, I put those top 4 guys in a tier of their own. I think that's tier 1 is Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Lamar. I think that's the 4, right? That's the elite 4 to me. I in my personal opinion, I think Lamar is too low. I think within that tier, I would rank Lamar no lower than 3. I would have him at 2. I personally have him at 2. I would put him no lower than 3. So
what were the 4? How did they do the top 4 again?
Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Lamar. So, I mean, I love all 4 of them. Yeah. I love all 4 of them. But, I mean, Lamar Jackson, and you could say what you want about his postseason, shortcomings. But last year, he wasn't bad in the playoffs. So, it's just I'm not going to put that. I'm not going to put the 2024 playoffs against him because he played well. So, yeah, I would put Lamar at 2 personally. The other thing that I'll get this out of the way too. Jalen Hurts is too low. I agree with you. When I rank Jalen, when I do quarterback rankings, and I don't say it a lot because you have every which way of an opinion from someone saying, oh, you're either just a homer or, oh, you don't know what you're looking at. So you can't satisfy anyone no matter what you do with quarterback rankings. But yeah, I personally have Jalen Hurts at 5. I wouldn't put him in the top with the same tier as the top 4, but in that second tier, he's the first of that second tier. So he'd be number 5 for me. And I would have him at 5 and have Stafford at 6. So that's getting out of the way. That's how I absolutely would do it. So him at 9 is too low to me. Jaden Daniels at 5. I'm going to say it again. I can't stand how every year there are people that want to crown these quarterbacks way too early. It's like, or not even just quarterbacks, just players in general. Like, to me, if you're going to be considered like one of the top quarterbacks or an elite quarterback or whatnot, you got to do it for more than 1 year. I think Jane Daniels is super talented. I think Jane Daniels, when all said and done, he's going to have a great career. Possible Hall of Fame career. I think he has amazing potential. Amazing potential. I am not putting him at 5 because like he's only done it for 1 year. Like I who's to say he won't struggle in year 2? And they did this again last year with CJ Stroud and Jordan Love, who I'm big fans of too. I really like those guys. CJ Stroud was constantly being put like the 5, 6, 7. I'm just like, he did it for 1 year. Jordan Love did it for only several games in 2023, and people were counting him already. So like, I don't like that. Jaden Daniels, I think he's going to be great. 5, too rich. You got to do it for more than 1 year. And then finally, when it comes to Justin Herbert, I don't rank him ahead of Jalen Hurts because I think Justin Herbert, he's especially last year when the Chargers made the playoffs. It wouldn't have mattered to me if they lost, but he had to have played well still, and he played poorly. So to be able for him not to have like good playoff performances, that goes against you. I'm sorry, it really does go against you. So I'm not ranking him ahead of Hurts. I probably would have him at 7. Like I would have Hurts 5, Stafford 6, and then I would have Justin Herbert at 7. I think that sometimes the hate on Justin Herbert gets a little too much. I've seen people say, "Oh no, there's no way he's top 10." I don't agree with that. I think with Justin Herbert too, like he's had playoff shortcomings, but he's also had horrible surrounding cast. I mean, Brandon Staley was his coach for years, and Brandon Staley was horrible as a head coach, absolutely horrible, and he barely had any weapons. I know he had Keenan Allen, but like outside of that, like okay, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, like what else? Like his offensive line wasn't great, coaching wasn't great, so like he didn't have the best circumstances, and I'm glad he kind of has a good head coach now. That is building something well, so that he can have success, and like they're building that roster. So I think he has been given like a short stick, and unfair like supporting cast. So there's no way I'm going to say he's not a top 10 quarterback, but I'm also not going to put him ahead of Jalen Hurts, who's proven to step up in big games. We all know that about Jalen Hurts. So those are my initial reactions from the list. I think again, Jeremy Fowler does a great job. I love that he does that, but it's these execs and these scouts, and it's, I don't know that a lot of people have been, there are a lot of news, a lot of the media today have been like slamming this list because they've also been saying Jalen Hurts is too low at 9. So
I mean, you got to take that with a grain of salt too, Chuck. I mean, you could put out the most perfect list of all time, and people are going to just shred it apart.
Oh yeah. They're going to, no matter what. Yeah, no matter what, people like, especially when it comes, like I said, when it comes to quarterbacks, you put out anything and people are going to crap on it. Like you can never make everyone happy. Always someone that's going to complain about what you put out. So 100%. That's why I don't even bother sometimes talking about quarterbacks, because or in terms of rankings, I don't bother anymore because someone's going to be mad and call you an idiot regardless. And it's not really, there's hardly ever like constructive conversation about it too. So
So you would take Herbert over CJ Stroud?
Oh, that's a good, you know what, you're right. I would take
CJ Stroud wins a playoff game every year.
Yeah, you're right.
He couldn't beat Kansas City.
I apologize. I would take CJ Stroud over Herbert. You're right. So I
would take Stroud over Goff. I would take Stroud over. I mean,
So Stroud probably would be 7 to me. I think Stroud would be 7. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else. I think Stroud though would be 7. You're right. Yeah, I would take Stroud over Herbert.
I think Houston's going to be really strong this year.
Yeah, I think so.
I
too.
think they're going to
I
be
just hope
really,
their
really
offensive
strong.
Their offensive line has to hold up. I mean, like they didn't really do much to fix it, other than like get offensive coordinator to hopefully.
Well,
like,
I mean, they just got rid of like what wasn't working.
Yeah,
So
that's the hope, right? So you hope that kind of like it's addition by subtraction. So yeah, I hope it's at least
maybe
like,
they'll get.
yeah, maybe.
But, I mean, AFC predictions are going to be interesting, to say the least. Because I don't think the Chiefs. I mean, I'm not going to be a psycho and say the Chiefs aren't going to make the playoffs because they probably will. They'll figure. But I don't think they're going to win the AFC. I don't think they're going to win their division.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun to talk about.
I think there's going to be a new. I think we're going to be crowning a new watchdog in the AFC this year.
Should be interesting. I can't wait to talk about it.
I haven't decided who the new watchdog is going to be yet. I have a few contenders in my head, but I'm still working through it.
I have an idea, but like still, anything can happen in a month and a half. So we'll see, like if anything changes. But like, I have an idea who I'd pick for the AFC and for that division. So, when we do our season predictions, it'll be fun to see who has what. But that's gonna be fun. All right, Brink. So we got through it. We got through the offseason of filler topics, and starting next week, we will get into our 2025 previews with training camp looming. So we'll start talk about this upcoming season for the Philadelphia Eagles. Thank you for all those who are listening, and thank you to our sponsor again, Baggio's Bread. Make sure you mention ATD Radio for 10% off your in-store purchase. For myself, for Brinks, for PY who had to duck out early, for Les Bowen, for the rest of us at ATD Radio, catch all the other shows rest of the week, and we will see you same time next week. Until then, peace out. Go Birds.